A slow, cozy journal session is always the best thing to calm my brain. I'm constantly thinking about everything all at once, but when it's just me, my journal, and stationery that makes me happy, my mind feels focused and at peace. My desk feels like my own special sanctuary where I get to just exist and explore my creativity. Journaling can be beneficial to everyone in any kind of format, so if you feel like your brain has been non-stop lately, then grab your journal, get comfy, and join me in today's journaling session. As colder days are coming and we're in full autumn mode now, I really like to romanticize the season by really setting the scene at my desk, by getting my cozy lamps on and lighting my candles that always smell of such lovely autumnal scents. So that's just kind of my nice new autumn routine to get me in the autumn mood. Now we're going to be doing 3 spreads today in our journaling session, and the first one is going to be a memory keeping one because recently I met up with some friends that I haven't seen in a very long time because they live quite far away. One of them has been living in Bosnia for the past year, so she has been quite far away. And it's just been so nice to finally all get together because every time we've met up over the past year, there's always been somebody missing from the group. And it just so happened that in this one week, everyone was free at the same time. So we all made the effort to meet up and go out for dinner. Now, this particular time was actually in August. So that is why I'm going with some more summery floral themes. I remembered to save the receipt from our dinner as well, and if you have been to Rudy's, then you'll know how amazing the pizza is there. So we ate a lot of pizza whilst we just chatted and yapped for a very long time, which was just so nice because I feel like everybody has those friends where no matter how much time is spent apart, whenever you all come together, it feels like nothing has changed and you are still just the best of friends as you were before. We all met in college, so we've been friends now for 10 years, maybe more, and we are not a likely group of people to be friends. Like, I feel like if maybe we had met now, then we would have never have crossed paths or become friends, but I feel so grateful for that time that we had in college because it meant that I got to meet my best friends basically. So it was just so nice, and it's always nice to have friends that have different interests to you. And whenever people kind of like see us all together or know that we're all friends, they almost like question it in a way because we are all so different. But I feel like that is what makes us the best of friends, and it makes every conversation so interesting that we have because everyone is always so intrigued by what everyone's doing because everyone's always doing completely different things. For the stickers in this spread, I am using some old Maragona Suli art stickers because you've probably realised that I had quite a big haul recently from her recent shop update. So I'm trying to use up a lot of the old stickers that I have from her, and I'm kind of saying to myself I'm not really allowed to get any more of her stickers until I have used some more because I basically have like a whole folder where I keep them all and it just keeps getting fuller and fuller and I'm not like getting through the stickers enough. So yeah, that is why I decided to just pull a random sticker sheet from hers and just go ahead and use it as the decoration. We always take a picture whenever we're together, but this one time we forgot. So it's really annoying because obviously I like to include pictures in my journals, but of course we were too busy yapping that we forgot to take one. But in a way, I guess it's quite nice that we were just enjoying our company too much to worry about pictures with each other. So here is the finished spread. I just used my Ferris wheel press fountain pen to write what we did and such so that I can remember everything in the future. And then I'm also going to be doing some reading spreads. Now, reading for me lately has been so great. I've had such an amazing reading year so far. I would say I've read 2 books that I didn't enjoy, but every other single book that I've read, I've had an absolute great time. So I have no complaints with the books that I've been choosing recently. And these 2 books were from my summer reading, so I'm quite behind on my reading spreads. And I do like to match them to the story or the setting. But with these 2 books, I wasn't really able to do that because I didn't really have any stationery to fit them. They are both 2 summer romances because I read a lot of romance, like contemporary romance during the summer, especially ice hockey romances. I went through a phase, but yeah, I really wanted to read lots of romances before diving into all my dark academia and fantasy books in the autumn and winter time. And yeah, as I said, I didn't really have any stationery to go with the themes, so when I can't match it in that sense, I will just match the colours of the book covers to the spreads, and I will just do it that way. So I decided to do 2 single spreads for these books, and they're going to be side by side because I had read them quite a while ago and I honestly didn't have a ton to write about them because I had forgotten a lot of things that happened, and I've read a lot of books since then. I've been reading for an hour every night before I go to bed, and that has been helping me so much with going to sleep. I don't like reading sad books either, which is why I read a lot of fantasy and a lot of contemporary romance, because when I read, I want it to be an escape from the real world. So I don't want to be reading any sad stories, and I don't know, I feel like the characters, I get quite connected to them in books. Like I do cry at books with the ones that I do read when there's like one sad scene or a character in a fantasy book dies or something like that. So I can only imagine how much of a mess I would be if I was actually reading like tragic stories. So that's why I kind of stick to the nicer things. And the first book is Summer in the City by Alex Astor, and it's actually my first book that I've read by her. I was considering reading her fantasy series Lightlark at some point, but this story follows a screenplay called Elle, who moves to New York for the summer, where she meets like a billionaire, of course, classic. And they basically start fake dating so that she can get more experience to write her screenplay, and he kind of needs a fake girlfriend to help him get this business deal. And it was surprisingly a really cute story, and I did enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would. I did also like the style of writing, so I feel like that makes me want to read her fantasy series more, although I'm pretty sure her fantasy series are young adult. I mean, if anyone can correct me on that, then feel free to let me know in the comments, but I prefer to read like adult stuff rather than young adult, but I do enjoy a young adult, and I have read a lot of series that I adore which are young adult as well, but I just prefer a few spicy scenes here and there, if I'm being honest. And then the second book that I read was Funny Story by Emily Henry, and it was actually my first Emily Henry read, and I thought it was such a great book as well. I definitely preferred Funny Story. I felt like the characters were a lot more relatable, and that this story was really interesting, like premise, because it follows 2 characters, Daphne and Miles, and basically both of their partners like become a couple. They're like best friends, and then they get together. So these 2 just get dumped and are like, oh well, we have nowhere to live now. So they kind of become roommates and start as a friendship to try and get each other through the breakup. There is a bit of fake dating as well to make their exes jealous and such. But I really liked Miles. He was a really relatable character, and I really liked that, he has his flaws. He's not a perfect boyfriend. He's definitely more realistic. And it was such a cute story. So I really enjoyed my first Emily Henry and I definitely want to read some more. Although I feel like Emily Henry's books are very summer themed, so if anyone has any recommendations of her books that are kind of like the least summery one, then please let me know because I would like to read some more of her books. But it is now autumn, so I don't want to be reading books about being on the beach and such. So yeah, I'm not really sure if I can read any more of hers until maybe the springtime, because I do really like to read things very seasonal and things that match the seasons. So back to the spread, as I said, I was struggling to match the theme, so I just used a lot of pet tapes and things that were in my sticker release book to try and match them with the book covers. And I also had these like location pointer stickers that I put on Funny Story because a lot of the story they're kind of showing each other around the small town so that they're getting used to like their favorite spots and such. So that was a little ode to that. And then when I'm writing, I try and just summarize the plot a little bit, but not in too much depth, just so that I can actually remember what the characters' names are and what the story is about. And then depending on how far along it is since I read the book, I will talk about some of my favorite parts and things like that. I was thinking for the future, I do have like a really teeny tiny journal that I was thinking maybe I could have that next to me whilst I'm reading. So if there's anything that I kind of want to mention in my reading journal, then I could kind of scribble it in there. But I've said that a while ago and I haven't done it, so we will see if I actually end up doing that. But yeah, this is the finished reading spreads. As I said, they're quite similar with each other. I used a lot of the same stationery, just almost like different colorways of them. But yeah, I did 2 single ones because I didn't really know what to write about them, as these are definitely summer reads. So I hope you enjoyed joining me today in our cozy journaling session, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one.